A Saudi diplomat and intelligence officer is among the men under investigation by the Turkish authorities as part of the probe into missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Turkish investigators searching the Saudi consulate as well as the consul general's residence in Istanbul, where Khashoggi was last seen. As a tight-lipped Secretary of State Mike Pompeo rushed to meet with the Saudi king and crown prince Tuesday before a flying visit to Turkey today to speak with President Tayyip Erdogan and the country's foreign minister. As for US President Donald Trump, well, it seems he's got the Crown Prince's back. In an interview with the Associated Press, he compared Saudi Arabia's denial that it was involved in Khashoggi's disappearance to Brett Kavanaugh's denial to committing sexual assault, saying, "Here we go again with you're guilty until proven innocent." Moments ago, adding this.
They're an important ally, but I want to find out what happened, where is the fault, and we will probably know that by the end of the week. I'm not sure yet that it exists, probably does, possibly does. I'll have a full report on that from Mike when he comes back.
And senior international affairs correspondent Owen Alterman joins me in studio with further details. Owen, a tight-lipped Pompeo both after those meetings in Saudi Arabia yesterday and today in Turkey. What can you tell us?
Well, Trace, you're absolutely right. First of all, no press conference yesterday and those visits in Saudi Arabia. Just a very, very short readout of Mike Pompeo's meeting with King Salman. And then in Turkey, two very quick meetings, 40 minutes each, with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu. Again, very, very little said after those meetings. What we can say is this, and this is very interesting. Mike Pompeo, before he's about to get on his plane to leave for Turkey from Saudi Arabia, answering questions from reporters, says this: "I don't want to get into the facts." He was asked if Khashoggi is alive or dead. He said, "I don't want to get into the facts. The Saudis are about to investigate. They deserve the chance to investigate and tell us after that." Really tells you, in many ways, all you need to know about America's strategy.
Could this be branded in some way as a damage control trip?
Oh, sure. But look, I think, Tracy, at the end of the day, the American strategy, really in tandem with the Saudi strategy, is to try to kick this can down the road. Try to wait for international headlines to move on. Again, even in that letter that the senators sent, that many members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, all but one, sent to the president, asking him, really requiring him to investigate this, he has 120 days to do that. Doesn't even say how much he really has to investigate, and even if he does, only has to get back to Congress. In early February, Tracy, who knows where the world will have moved on to by then. And at that point, the U.S., I think, and Saudi Arabia are hoping that their relationship gets back on track. As you just mentioned, and as we just heard from Donald Trump, he is mapping this issue of the alleged killing of Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul onto partisan politics in the United States, essentially trying to turn this into an issue of partisan politics in the United States, where Republicans will line up in one way and Democrats will line up in another. Certainly a new take on foreign policy, but that's what we've come to expect in the year of Donald Trump.
All right, Owen, stay with us. Let's bring in another voice. Ali Alyami, the Executive Director of the Centre for Democracy and Human Rights in Saudi Arabia, joins us now from Washington, D.C. Ali, a pleasure to have you with us. We've just heard from Owen saying, Mike Pompeo saying, "I don't want to look at the facts." How would Saudi Arabians be looking at this story? Living in the country, knowing its laws and its culture, would it be far-fetched to believe that this was a Saudi Arabian hit job of sorts?
I'm not sure what do you mean by Saudi Arabians. Are you talking about the people or the government? Because it's almost the same.
Would the people that live in Saudi Arabia, how would they be viewing this when there are accusations flying around that perhaps their government was behind the alleged murder of Khashoggi?
Well, the people of Saudi Arabia have absolutely no voice of any kind. It is the most repressive regime on the planet, or among the most repressive regimes on the planet. So you will never know what the Saudi people think. I doubt personally if people are going to be drumming and dancing on the actions taken by Prince Mohammed and his father. You have to understand, King Salman is the man who is still calling the shots. In most cases, Mohammed bin Salman is only implementing his father's wishes. At least I am hoping that Mohammed bin Salman, when his father no longer rules, will be different. I doubt it. But the people of Saudi Arabia cannot express any feeling towards anything, and that's a fact that the world knows about.
Now, Ali, there are reports floating around that Saudi Arabia could offer an alternative explanation to this story, that they could come out in a report saying that this was, in fact, an interrogation gone wrong. How plausible is that idea?
Absolutely nonsense. the whole world media and people, including the United States intelligence community, know that the Saudi ruling family or the Saudi ruling elites have been trying to lure Mr. Khashoggi, a man I know, to go somewhere where they could put their hands on him and slaughter him, and that's what they did. There is no explanation other than the fact that he went to the embassy, which I thought was very foolish in his part. I mean, the consulate, and he never came out. And the detailed the information that has been coming out of what happened in that consulate is an affront to humanity, and especially to democratic societies like ours.
I'm sorry to hear that you know him. You must be extremely worried. We'll move into studio just to look at another perspective now, Owen. Of course, we've talked about what perhaps Saudi Arabia's strategy might be here, what the United States might be looking to do here, but what about Turkey?
And that's fascinating, Tracy. It leads to me, at least, that Turkey is really trying to take advantage of the situation to portray itself as the muckraker, as the one trying to get to the bottom of this, to uncover truth, to lay the groundwork for justice, and really rehabilitate Turkey's image in the eyes of so many in the world. You know, Tracy, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has come under so much criticism over the past 2 years since that failed coup in the summer of 2016 for his own crackdown, including on journalists. And Turkey is really using this opportunity to portray itself, put itself on the other side of that issue. We'll see how successful they are, but so far they've played this in a very, very canny way. And I wonder whether they're even planning in how they release information so that there's something every day for the international media to gobble up. Whether by design or whether by coincidence, a really savvy media strategy.
Sure. Ali, back to you, of course. We heard Saudi Arabia agreeing that there needs to be a thorough investigation into this, also a transparent investigation. What does that really look like? How can we trust the evidence, as Owen is saying, is being drip-fed to us from Turkish authorities?
You know, this is very, it's pretty almost childish when they talked about investigation. What investigation? The man went to the Saudi consulate. He never came out. A team of a death squad met him in the consulate, 15 people. This is a documented fact. And a forensic official with a bone saw. And he never came out. So what investigation? All the indications, all the fingers point to the fact that he was chopped up and put in boxes and sent to Saudi Arabia. I didn't know what investigation the Saudis or President Trump or the Turks are talking about. My sense is, I think it is beyond doubt that the United States is going to take the Saudi side based on what President Trump have said. And I think what's happening now is that the Saudis, the Turks, and our government are trying to work out a lullaby where the Saudis could be at least partially exonerated of this crime.
Very briefly, thank you for that, Ali. Owen, just to wrap this up, what do you see as the consequences of this? How do you expect the fallout to unfold in Saudi Arabia?
I think the most likely scenario, Tracy, is that the strategy of kicking the can down the road will succeed. This will disappear from international headlines. Attention will move on. And in the medium to long term, Crown Prince will remain in his position and U.S.-Saudi relations will go back to normal.
There'll be no scapegoat?
There may be a scapegoat inside the kingdom. That may be part of the plan. But at least in the big picture, I don't think this disrupts the longer-term pattern of American-Saudi relations.
Disturbing isn't quite the word to even describe this story.